Hey everyone, welcome into my Makeup Love office. I am happy to have you here today. So in the last video, we talked about prepping our skin before we put our makeup on. Today, we're gonna start with foundation. So I'm not gonna talk through about how to select the right shade of foundation. There are other videos in my series about choosing the right shade, and I will link those down below. So if you wanna go back and refer to those, you can. Today, I want to talk about how to apply your foundation. Now, basically, and I apologize, I have a guest today, as you can hear. My granddaughter Zoe is joining me today, and she's going to try and climb up here. So you want to choose the lightest weight foundation that you can to get good coverage. Now, it depends on the amount of coverage that you want. If you need full coverage, you're probably going to want to go for something like the 2-in-1 full coverage foundation and concealer. If you don't need as full coverage, you might go down and select instead a BB cream. BB cream has moisturizer in it, and it's a little thinner than the full coverage foundation. If you feel like you can do with even less than that, I suggest getting a tinted moisturizer. This one happens to be my favorite, and this is what I'm going to show you today. This is what I wear in place of foundation almost every day because it gives me lots of extra hydration. Plus, I feel like it gives me enough coverage for my day-to-day wear. I wouldn't wear this if I was doing something more formal, if I was going somewhere on a little bit more formal occasion, not just my daily life, but if I'm going to church, for example, a wedding, an important meeting, something where I'm going to see people in more of a social setting than just running to the grocery store, I'll probably go for something a little more full coverage. But for day to day, I like to use the tinted moisturizer. Now, next comes how do we apply it? A lot of people say I like to just use my fingers, and that's fine. I feel like when I use my fingers are so rough and dry in the winter. I feel like a lot of product gets absorbed into my fingertips and doesn't end up on my face. So I really don't like using my fingers. Now, a lot of people like to use a sponge, a damp sponge, and I do recommend that it be damp. You don't want to use a dry sponge, but you can dampen it with a little bit of water, or you can spray it with a little bit of setting spray and try that. I prefer a kabuki brush, which is a nice flat-headed brush, and all I do is add a few drops of the tinted moisturizer right on the top of that brush. I like it because I can really get all that off of there so I don't lose any. And then I simply take that and I start pouncing. And I first deliver product all over. And then I go back and I make sure that I get all the areas covered. I make sure that it's all blended in. And yes, I like to do my foundation before I do my eye makeup. I know a lot of makeup artists recommend doing your eyes first. They say that way if you get any fallout underneath here, you can just whisk it away when you're putting on your foundation. I find that with Celeste products, I don't really have that issue. So I don't like to do my eyes first because, as you saw, I like to get my tinted moisturizer right in there all the way around my eyes because I want all of this extra skin around my eyes to make sure it has the tinted moisturizer on it. I don't like to have like an area where there's no product and then I'm gonna, be expected to fill that all in with eye makeup. I don't wear eyeshadow every day in my day-to-day routine. So I like to go ahead and just fill that in all the way around. And that basically is it for my foundation. Now I would go ahead and add any contouring, highlighting, correcting, and then of course my blush before I go ahead and finish the rest of my face. And you'll see why I prefer the kabuki brush when you see me move on to the next step where we're going to be doing the correcting, camouflaging, contouring, highlighting. I like to use my kabuki brush when I'm finished with that step. So stay tuned for that video coming up soon. Now, if you enjoyed this little tutorial, please give it a like and a share. Subscribe to my channel so you know when I have a new video out. As always, I appreciate you being here. Until next time, see ya.